What is happening, my people? This is Tim with the Tim Dot Show, and today I want to walk you through the best business books for entrepreneurs. Now, this isn't some list I Googled and got. This is literally over 10 plus years of entrepreneurship. What are the foundational books that have helped me? And I've read over 300 business books. And what I want to do for you is bring you the ones that, man, if there's any of those 300 that I've gotten a really good value from, it's these ones. So let's go ahead and walk through it. Literally the very first book that I read on entrepreneurship was E-Myth. Now this is E-Myth Mastery. You can see I've definitely taken a lot of notes in this bad boy. Great book. I would suggest getting the E-Myth Revisited, not E-Myth Mastery. I think E-Myth is a great place to start. Now, think about it as E-Myth is how do you build a business that you are working on, that is working, that could run, that you could go on a vacation, you could go on a trip, it would still run, it would still grow. Without you there, you could sell this thing. And how ultimately do you build a business that you could franchise? Now, not that you're franchising, but if you can build the systems and processes of your business so well that everything runs and moves and grows without you, then you have a business that will ultimately serve you, something that you could ultimately sell. Most entrepreneurs, they leave a job, leave comfort, leave that for money, time, freedom to create impact, and then end up becoming slaves in their business. I see it happen all the time. So foundational book here, very, very good. I would also say Profit First, great book. I didn't implement Profit First into my business for a long time, and I wish I would have done it. Basically, Profit First is setting up system where you take a percentage, the very first thing you take out of your revenue. Say you do 20K in revenue or you do 100K in revenue. I'll just say 100K to make it easy. Let's say your goal is you want to have 15% profit every month. So the very first thing you're going to take out of your business is the profit, then the tax, then you leave stuff in an operational account. So you actually create a separate bank account that you don't see, and 15%, 20%, whatever your profit percentage is every month. When the revenue comes in twice a month, you're going to pull the profit out first, put that in a profit account that you don't see, so you're not tempted to spend it, and you also put the tax in a tax account that you don't see. This has been a game changer for our business, just to be able to stash away profit every month, and that's what a healthy business should be doing, is stashing away profit. That combined with having systems in place, you're starting to build a company that not only runs and grows without you, but is now creating profit without you. Really good book. Art of the Start, great book by Guy Kawasaki. For like starting a business, how do you get going, how do you get things running. Ultimately, I've torn this book up. Just very good if you're kind of new to entrepreneurship and just want a full comprehensive understanding of how to get a business started and just getting it running. I would also say Scale with People is a great small one, very, very small one. It was suggested to me by my mentor who's doing like $500 million, and just a great little book. I've probably gone through this 50 times, having my audio as well. Culture. I read the Zappos Experience. Zappos was purchased by Amazon, I think, for like $2 billion, and their culture is phenomenal. Whatever his name is, he passed, the founder of Zappos passed, but he attributed the entire culture that he built to tribal leadership. We're heavily influenced the way that we build our culture by tribal leadership. And whereas before, first kind of $1 million company I built, it was a very toxic culture. It grew so fast and the culture was bad. It was really toxic. This has really influenced us. We now, where we're at culturally, have no dead weight on our team. Everybody's a high performer. I enjoy everybody on the team. So building great culture is super important, as well as, I would say this just for an entrepreneur, Extreme Ownership. It's kind of a newer book, popular book, you may have seen it. But it's just a really good concept on taking extreme ownership. Anytime you place the blame outside of you, you're also putting the control to fix that problem outside of you. So this kind of talks about that overall, how do you take extreme ownership and really teach your team to take extreme ownership so that you have full control over every area. Great book, pretty foundational. I would still put like these three as its top, and if you're super new to business, this as well. So Bezos Letter is a great book for a little bit more experience of an entrepreneur trying to look to scale and grow their business. Basically, this is the letters 14 Principles to Grow Your Business from a guy who basically took the shareholder letters that Jeff would write every year, and he is a risk analysis guy, the author. And what he did is he condensed it down into the 14 principles that he saw consistently from Amazon start to where it's at right now, and how you can apply those principles to your business. Incredible book. This one I'm going to show you right here, it's very dense. I mean, I did this on audio. It's a very long book. Ray Dalio, Principles, incredible book. Save this one for later. If you're just trying to figure out where to start, save this one for later. I would also say, like, huge. This is just a great book. Period. It was suggested to me by one of my mentors who also was very successful, sold his company for about 140 million. And so when you kind of think about like positive thinking, all that stuff, I'm a true believer in like self-talk and visualization and all that. But you can kind of hear it from like a lot of people that are like fluffy and frou-frou and not really building success. Like they teach a lot about wealth and attraction, but they're not attracting wealth in their life. So when my mentor, who's incredibly financially, relationally, just all levels of success, suggested this is a foundational book that I read, I took it very seriously. And this book, we have had our entire team read it. Incredible book. Notice beyond positive thinking, so it's not just a positive thinking book. It's like, how do you take all those principles and apply it right now? Very good book. I would say this is foundational as well. This would just be like a great freaking place to start. If we want to get into just having some solid marketing principles for your business, I mean, I love new stuff that comes out, but I love really old stuff, like just freaking super old stuff. And so I want to walk you through just some basics that I think you should really have. Foundational, it's like this 1920 something book. Claude Hopkins, Scientific Advertising. Look at those ads on the back. We're talking old school, man. Anybody in the copywriting world that's good sees this as like the foundational Bible. This is like gold. This is golden. Scientific Advertising by Claude Hopkins. Definitely a short read, but read it 4 or 5 times. Very foundational to understand marketing in your business. And just so you know, if you're a business owner, you need to master 2 skills, marketing and sales, which is all about persuasion. So another good book, just to understand, this is a little bit newer. This is by Robert Cialdini. The book is called Influence, and it's the art of just understanding human influence. And initially wrote it not as a marketing book, but he did such a good job on the psychology of influence that essentially this became another one of the marketers, copywriters' Bible. Incredible book. I'm gonna grab just one more in the copywriting section. I'm doing another video on copywriting books to check out. Breakthrough Advertising, Eugene Schwartz, just hands down one of the best books on copywriting, if not the best. But what you have to understand is he has an understanding not just of copywriting, but of understanding where your market's at. So for instance, if you have a new product that your market's not heard of before, and people don't know how it works, how do you introduce that product? How do you sell that product? If you're in a crowded space, say like you're a marketing agency, everybody knows what marketing agencies or social media agency or coaching. It's like such a flooded space. And how do you market into that space? How do you communicate into that space? So some of the best books that I've read on how to sell were actually copywriting books and influence books, because they allow you, teach you how to sell to a market, not just like do these exact principles, but how do you sell to your current market based off of your market sophistication. So incredible read. I would say this is pretty foundational if you're in copywriting for sure. Exactly What to Say is a fun book. This one's a really good one because it gives you like simple little techniques you can do for your conversations. You can do if you're writing ads or copy. This is actually a sales book, but we actually use it a lot for copywriting as well. The 2 biggest skills, well, I'd say 3 biggest skills you need to have as an entrepreneur. Number 1, the leadership, as well as marketing and sales. So you need to have leadership and influence. I mean, really, if you're to break down, leadership is the ability to influence, right? And sales is the ability to influence. Marketing is the ability to influence. So a lot of these books are really solid. Just realize if you're stepping into marketing, if you're stepping into sales, if you're stepping into business, you have to understand influence as a whole. Okay, cool. That's kind of it. I mean, I have a lot more that I would suggest, but I could go through. I've got a bunch of books in my audio. Like if you have any other questions, ask in the chat. If you're saying, hey, this was great, what other books do you suggest? I can create more videos. This is just some of my top ones out of everything. I have more that I can give you. If we're gonna start just in one place, eMyth. Once you got this eMyth, right? We got eMyth going. Profit first, because your business needs to have profit. We're gonna have tribal leadership, because your business needs to have really good culture. Beyond positive thinking, I would read this thing first. You should read this thing first, and you should read it often. Now you have some leadership, you have some structure idea. You're moving into how do you do copywriting, how do you do persuasion, how do you influence people. I would start right here because it's such a short read. Scientific Advertising, really good book because you read it a couple times. I would also looking to scale with people, because this is just gonna be a really simple guide. I've probably listened to the audio version of this 30 times or so. Then I would move into, if you just need some really like understanding of branding and marketing and just overall, Art of the Start's a great place to go from there. And then influence, this is gonna start getting you to really understand how humans work, how persuasion works, as well as once you've gone through that, these two would kind of be next in my mind, right? Because you got right here, if you really need to focus on copywriting, on sales, on persuasion, on really how do you tap into your current market, next book would be Breakthrough Advertising. And then the Bezos Letters is just really, really foundational to how like Jeff Bezos thought about his business, building his business, and 14 principles that you can use. So there's obviously so much more that I could share with you. That is where I would start. And if you have those things, like if you just make a commitment, hey, I'm gonna do a book a month, I'm gonna do one of these a month, or if you go like, I'm gonna do one a week, you can do an audio. I do a lot of audio. I mean, I think humans for most of history have learned and memorized things through auditory, through hearing somebody else teach it, say it, and then have to either memorize it and then go repeat it to other people. That's how the ancient world worked. There was scribes and there were scripts, but most of the stuff we had to memorize and pass that memorization on to other people, and those other people passed it to other people. So people that bash audiobooks, it's like that's how humans have learned and memorized and communicated stories. In fact, if you wanna go back, this is the first book on like a hero's journey ever written. This is just like an old school book I love, Gilgamesh. It was like the first like book on the hero's journey, like Batman, Superman. Any movie you ever watch that has a hero in it, it can all be traced back to this, which I forget when it was written. It was like 600 BC. It was like the Babylonians, like crazy, crazy. Great book, but all around, get these books, get them in. If you can do one a month, great. If you can do one a week, freaking fire and do it. Audiobooks, people have learned from audio from a long time. However you learn. I also love Kindle. I have a Kindle I use all the time, especially for trips and travel. So that's it. That's the books that I suggest for any entrepreneur. Now look, I have a whole channel of how to sell more, scale more, grow your business, all of that stuff. I'm also gonna put together a video on the art of persuasion and copywriting and all that stuff, which is critical for your business. You need to understand it, especially if you're gonna outsource. You need to understand that. You can't just outsource your marketing fully. You have to understand how to do it. Marketing, sales needs to be at the DNA of your company. Otherwise, if you outsource 100% of the only way in which you're gonna get customers and make money, you're literally outsourcing the success or failure of your business to a third party. Doesn't sound fun, does it? So make sure you have that down. I'm gonna do another video on this, as well as if you wanna check out any of my other videos that are gonna help you sell more, gonna help you scale more, gonna help you get clients and blow your business out, check out my channel. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to comment, make sure to like if you got value from this, and if you want to really get hot drops when I give them to you, click that bell so you're notified every time I drop a new one. Again, this is Tim with the Tim Dot Show. I'll see you at the top.